All right, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Fitz, what we got today?
So we got an anonymous submission saying, my college coach is telling me I need to play in a summer league. How do I know if I should play competitively or train?
Ooh, really good question. So we get a lot of high school guys and, from middle school all the way even to our pro guys who are looking for like maybe winter leagues. We get this question a lot. And it's like, I know guys want to spend time developing something like their mechanics, or guys want to spend time developing a pitch, a third pitch, or maybe guys want to get physical in the gym. You can answer this from a million different directions. Let's talk strength first.
Yeah.
I know one of the big mistakes that guys make is they go play. So high school, for example, summer is guys go and play, all weekend. They play like 4 games. And then they come to us and they try to lift and they try to work out and do stuff for, the immediately following days. From a workload standpoint, I mean, these guys their CNS is taxed. Like, what are you seeing from some of these guys?
Yeah, so when they go do that, you only have a certain amount of stress that your body can adapt to, and really playing those 4 games that you see through that week and then trying to push it in the weight room and really develop is just going to tax that stress level, and it's really hard to really focus and prioritize the strength that we need to have.
So I look at it from like a proper programming standpoint, right? So like if I'm programming you from a throwing standpoint, I'm trying to build you up like from a fitness level through the summer, or we're trying to do like a velocity phase, for example. I got to have you at a certain level. And if every weekend you're taxing your body and I'm not getting you back in terms of recovery, until the following weekend, then we're just not able to, actually get a whole lot done except for that competitive play. So your focus changes. Maybe we can get a bullpen in, do some pitch design midweek. But again, like if you're going out and you're competing, you're getting kind of more primal on the field on the weekends, and you're not really focused on, taking a period of time, like let's say a month or 2 months, and dedicating that to a specific thing we're trying to develop. It becomes really difficult. So I would tell guys, personally, and maybe you're the same, like in the weight room, like I look at it from like a mobility standpoint in the weight room, right, or like an overall strength standpoint in the weight room. Like if you're lacking in something specific, we got to hit that in terms of a goal. And from your programming, it's different, right? Like what do you usually focus on, like beginning of summer with most of our guys? Let's say like college guys, for example, like they're coming out of season. What are kind of your phases building through the summer that'll help maybe?
Yeah, so coming out of season, usually first month is usually a movement, skill base, getting the body just back to normal, working there. Months 2 and 3, we're really trying to push the weight, push the intensity, get them moving faster, getting stronger, depending on what they actually need from an assessment standpoint. If they need more strength, we go more intensity. If they need more speed, we go more power output and really working as fast as they possibly can, leading into the fall.
And again, that's general, right? It's like even for me, like, it depends on where the athlete's at coming out of spring. Like if you didn't play a whole lot and you were just like working out, like we might change that completely. Yeah. It just depends on where you're at and what your needs are. So my recommendation to that athlete is to say, really we got to evaluate for you, like if your goals are to play at the big league level, let's say you're in college, you're 22 years old, time's taken. And if you feel like you're behind the curve, if your velocity's not high enough, if your stuff's not profiling well enough, that's the difference sometimes in, being taken a couple rounds up in the draft versus being taken a couple rounds back. That's the difference sometimes in you playing at the 4-year school versus not playing. So I think it's really important to, number one, I think the thing that we're getting at is you got to be assessed, right? We have to have a really good assessment process to be able to take you in and determine what are those weaknesses. And once we've got that assessment process in place, and we have kind of our lowest hanging fruit, so to speak, of like what we're going to attack, then from there it's put together a program, a plan, and look at it from a 365 perspective and say, okay, this is how I'm going to build my body physically, and this is how I'm going to actually make adjustments on the mound or on the field to reach the level at which I need to reach to be competitive. And if you're not at that level, I would probably recommend not playing, taking that time period of 3 months off during the collegiate summer and training. If you are at that level, though, and you feel like your stuff is there, then maybe you just need to get innings under your belt and compete and showcase your stuff and work your stuff in game competitively to find ways to be creative and get guys out. And so that's the way I think we should maybe look at it, kind of approach it. We get that question a lot. That's a good one.
Can Connect help answer any of these questions?
Yeah, so like that's a little sporadic across like Connect, right? It's because like so discussed, like so workload management. If you're trying to plan workload, like that's in Connect, right? Like if you're trying to determine like how to utilize VBT through that process, like we have a VBT module. Looking at specific summer schedules, probably not in Connect. We didn't really talk about that, but Those are great questions to ask us direct on assessment day. Or if you need that assessment that we're talking about, come into facility and come get that assessment with us. In even remote training, we have some assessment tools in terms like Pro Play AI and some other aspects of which we could use to kind of break some of that stuff down. So multiple ways to look at that, and that's a pretty vast question. So it is what it is. But excellent question nonetheless, and hopefully get more of those.
Good answer.